My name's Fiona. This session is particularly useful for young children, primary school age. This is based on the work of Faith Ward, who wrote a beautiful script for therapy based on the worry cloud. It's really important that we spend time with young children at this time when things are changing so quickly. Their routines have changed, their interaction with people have changed during the pandemic, and they're seeing lots of things around them which are really unusual and strange for them, and it can be quite frightening. Often children will hold in worries and won't talk to their caregivers because they think they already have too much to worry about already. Maybe they're trying to be brave, but really it's much healthier for children to talk about what they're worried about and to get some reassurance from the adults around them. So this session takes about 20 minutes and it can be repeated as often as you want. It can often help children begin to talk about the things they're worried about. So if you get your children all settled, get them to get their toys or any favourite blankets or anything they want and get a nice, quiet, comfortable place in the house. Make sure devices are switched off, so anything that you don't need, loads of mobile phones, laptops, stuff like that, you can turn them all off, turn off the TV, turn off the radio, and just have a bit of quiet time together. Okay, so now you're all settled, we're going to begin the session. So all of you find somewhere really comfortable, sitting on a chair or lying on a bed, or you might be lying on the floor with a blanket wrapped around you. Cuddle into those toys you've got there, or cuddle into your mum, your dad, your caregiver, whoever is there with you, might be a brother or sister. Okay, so close your eyes and take a nice deep breath. That's good. Now we're going to go on an adventure together. First of all, I want you to imagine a place where you feel really safe and comfortable. A place that makes you happy. This might be a memory of something that you've done before, or it might be a place that you create yourself where you feel happy, relaxed and safe. Notice all the details in this place. What does it feel like here? What sounds can you hear? How relaxed do you feel here? Do you feel loved here? You feel comfortable and protected. Feel very safe. Bring all those feelings now of your perfect place, a place where you feel very happy and content. Now that you're feeling a bit more comfortable, we're going to do something about the things that are worrying you. I can't promise they're going to go away straight away, but I can promise that you can use your wonderful imagination to make pictures. We talk about things, we can imagine things, and soon you're going to feel a whole lot better. And you're going to learn how to let go of those worry feelings. So let's imagine we're going on a great adventure together. If you have a favourite toy, a doll, a teddy bear, or a truck, or indeed a pet that you love to bits, you can bring them all with you. Bring whatever you want. Might be a favourite blanket. You can be with someone on this journey, or you can be on your own. You can choose. I suggest we also take a bag and probably an umbrella, because you know what adventures can be like. Sometimes the weather can change really quickly. Okay, are you ready? Good. We're going for a walk in an imaginary nature trail. Of course, it won't just be imaginary, because I'm sure you've been on lots of nature trails before. You know that most of the things we're going to talk about are real in the real world. Maybe you've been on these walks with your parents, maybe with your teachers at school. You're going to need a warm jumper, some welly boots, I think, because sometimes it gets a bit soggy underground. And sometimes the rain comes down and makes our feet wet, so Wellington boots are a really good idea. So let's set off, we're ready. We're already quite close to the forest. We just need to walk a little further into the path. Good. The first thing that I want you to notice are the pretty pink and yellow flowers all along the woodland path. And look at those huge trees above us. Notice the branches. Look at all the beautiful leaves. And notice how they rustle in the breeze. Feel the breeze pass your face. What a lovely place to be in. So very, very pretty. Now as we look ahead, can you see how those leaves have started to turn from green to orange, and some of them into gold and red? It must be the autumn. And look along the ground. You can see how the leaves have made a beautiful carpet for us to walk upon. Let's go into the forest a little more and see what else we can see. There's some bushes there with red and black berries on them. But we're not going to pick those berries because we don't really know what they are. Still, they look very pretty. And maybe you can see some ivy or maybe some holly leaves. I wonder what sort of animals and creatures we're going to find together. We know there's lots of birds. We can hear them singing. Especially in the summertime, birds are so wonderful. They make a gorgeous sound that all of us can enjoy. At this time of year though, because we know this is more like autumn with the leaves changing, we're more likely to see a prickly hedgehog, maybe some dormice, some rabbits and squirrels with big bushy tails. You might even catch sight of a black badger. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? Look over there at that squirrel. Look, he's disappearing up the tree. I wonder if you know what kind of tree this is. It's called a horse chestnut. It's the one where you get the reddish-brown conkers that drop to the ground and we play games with them. We step over the broken twigs and branches on the ground and we lift up the scattered leaves. We pick up the conkers, and as we do, we notice how smooth and nice they feel. I wonder if you've ever heard of the game of conkers. Maybe you and your friends and your mum and dad or your gran and granddad or other caregivers have collected them before. In the olden days, children would ask a grown-up to drill holes in the conkers, and they'd thread a string through the conker, tie a knot at the end, and then children would take turns each to basically hit each other's conker while holding on to the string. Of course, they were careful to hold the conker well away from their face or body, and sometimes they'd wear gloves to protect their hands. In some parts of the world, they still have conker championships, and the aim of the game is to conquer each other's conker. Of course, I'm sure you probably know there's another word that's pronounced the same, but spelt differently from the conker that grows on the tree. The meaning of the other word conquer is to win, is to take control, and that is what the word conquer now means to you. Maybe you'd like to find some conkers in the basket. In the bag that I brought with me, we've already collected quite a lot of them. Maybe you would like to find some more to put into our bag. And you could cover them with some of those interesting crispy leaves and small shiny pebbles and twigs, anything else that we've collected on the way. I'm going to be quiet for a moment or two while you collect any interesting things from the forest floor to put into our bag. Good. Now we're going to go further into the forest because there's something else I would really like you to see. Now tread carefully as we go deeper into the forest. We are very safe here. In the distance you can see a clearing, and there is a small child sitting on a log. As we walk closer towards the child, we notice how the sky is getting darker and blacker, and you look up and you see a very big cloud. This is the worry cloud, and every time someone worries about something that's upsetting them, the cloud grows bigger and bigger. When the cloud gets bigger, it makes the sky so dark, and when the sky gets dark, it becomes dull, and it makes people feel quite unhappy. Just like the trees and the flowers and all the wonderful things that you saw in the woodland, we all need sunshine and happy feelings. Otherwise we feel down and everything seems so dark and still. It's so dark now that it looks as though it's going to rain. It looks like it's going to rain very soon, so we should hurry towards the child, so we can shelter together under our massive umbrella. As we get closer to the child, you notice how unhappy it looks. They look unhappy and you ask what's wrong. As you probably already guessed, the child tells you they have lots of worries, and as you listen carefully, you realise that some of the worries they're telling you are the same as the ones that you've been having. But you have seen how those worries go straight up into the worry cloud, so you now decide to let go of them once and for all. Think about all the lovely things in your life. Think about the giggles you have with your friends and family. Think about the love that you have from the people around you. Think about the things that you enjoy doing, whether that's football or gymnastics or just running around the park, being on your bicycle perhaps, or reading a really lovely story, or having cuddle times with mum, dad or a caregiver at night time when you get a story read to you. Think of all the beautiful things and things that make you happy. Perhaps it's a cuddle with your dog, or perhaps it's a walk in the park with your family. Think of all the beautiful things that make you happy. Think about all the pretty things we've seen in the forest, the squirrels, the birds, the berries and nuts on the bushes, all the wild flowers, and the crispy golden leaves that gently drift down from the trees. I know there is a lot of good things in life, a lot of good things in your life, so I'm going to be quiet for a few moments while you think about these things, and you put your arm around the child on the log to comfort them and show them that you care. Now I wonder if you can notice something. Something amazing has been happening while you've been thinking and talking about all the wonderful things that you love, things that make you happy. Notice now when you look up into the sky that the cloud is beginning to get smaller. That worry cloud that was so big and dark up there in the sky, it's getting smaller. It's breaking up into smaller little clouds. They're beginning to drift away. The dark cloud is so much smaller now, and it's not looking quite so dark. It's lost its heaviness, it's lost its blackness, and it's started to change shape into soft, fluffy, white clouds. As the black cloud disappears, notice how the blue sky begins to cover the whole of the sky. It's so beautiful. All the sunshine now begins to come through the leaves of the trees. you feel the warmth of the sun on your face. Look at all the shapes of those white fluffy clouds. Look how blue the sky is now. You can hear the birds begin to sing to celebrate the sun has come out. And look, the child that you've got your arm around is beginning to smile. They look into your eyes and smile. They squeeze your hand. They look so much happier, so much more relaxed and content. Can you feel the same smile on your face too? You reach into the bag and you take out the shiny reddish brown conkers. Can you remember what the conker represents? Imagine the conker in the palm of your hand. You squeeze it hard for a moment or two. And as you do this, you feel as though you really can conquer anything, and you know that you can. And you immediately begin to feel much happier, much more confident. The worries seem so small now. So now you know what to do. In the future, when you imagine your conker in the palm of your hand, squeeze your fingers around it and you'll immediately feel so much better and happier. And you'll remind yourself that you can conquer so many things. You might decide to share all your conkers and leaves and twigs and whatever else is in your bag. It's good to share. It's nice to share things that are pretty and useful. And it's good to share your worries when you have them. If you're ever worried about anything, remember that all those worries will just form a big black heavy worry cloud and they won't help anyone. So the best thing to do is to share your worries with someone who loves you, someone you trust, such as mum or dad or another grown-up that you trust. Everyone worries about something from time to time. This is completely natural. It's also natural for people who care about you to want to be there for you, to help you deal with your worries. Just as you were there for this little child on the log in the clearing of the forest. And when you've shared those worries, the sun can begin to shine again. And a pretty green carpet of grass will begin to grow, and the flowers and trees will blossom, and you will feel so much better and happier again. So I want you to share all this with your new friend. Let's go back through the forest to see all the beautiful golden leaves, all the little animals and trees and woodland creatures that live out here. And when you are home, perhaps even before then, I want you to remember your conker and imagine holding it there in the palm of your hand and squeezing your hand around it. Whenever you do this, you feel happier, so much more confident. You have done so well today. You have a wonderful imagination, and your imagination will help you instead of worrying about things. So remember your conker, and remember also what the word conquer represents for you. I'm going to count to 5 now, and when I've finished and reach 5, you'll be wide awake, eyes wide open, feeling excited about what you've learned today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes wide open, feeling refreshed, all nice and relaxed and excited about the day ahead. Have a good day. Take care.